Dolls are nothing more than cloth and porcelain, silent playthings meant to bring comfort. But some dolls, some are different, some are cursed, some are watching. Deep in the heart of Key West, Florida, locked behind glass, sits one of the most haunted objects in the world. A doll so terrifying that even the bravest visitors tremble in his presence. A doll whose curse has brought misfortune, terror, and tragedy to those who dared to mock him. His name is Robert, and tonight, we uncover the chilling truth behind the legend, the whispers, the warnings, and the sinister force that lurks behind his lifeless eyes. So sit back, turn off the lights, and whatever you do, don't look away. They say dolls are lifeless, mere objects of cloth, porcelain, and stuffing, silent companions to childhood innocence. But some dolls, some are far more than simple playthings. Some dolls are vessels, some are cursed, and among them, one stands above the rest. A doll whose gaze has sent shivers down the spines of those who dare to look into his beady black eyes. A doll whose presence brings misfortune, terror, and despair. His name is Robert. Tonight, we uncover the terrifying truth behind one of the most haunted objects in the world. A doll that has been blamed for accidents, tragedies, and even death. A doll that waits and watches. The origins of Robert the Doll. The story of Robert begins in the early 1900s in Key West, Florida. The Otto family, an affluent, well-respected household, lived in a grand Victorian mansion at 534 Eaton Street. It was here that Robert Eugene Otto, or Gene as he was affectionately called, received the fateful gift that would change his life forever. The doll was nearly 3 feet tall, dressed in a faded sailor suit that once belonged to Gene himself. His painted face bore an eerie, childlike expression. Wide, dark, empty eyes that seemed to follow anyone who dared glance his way. But where did this doll come from? There are many rumors about Robert's origins. Some say he was a handcrafted creation from the Steiff Company, a German toy manufacturer known for its high-quality dolls. Others whisper a far darker tale, that the doll was gifted to Gene by a servant of the Otto family, a woman of Bahamian descent who practiced voodoo and black magic. According to legend, the servant, mistreated by the Ottos, sought revenge through an enchanted object. She sewed Robert together with sinister intent, cursing the doll with dark energy before presenting him to the unsuspecting child. Whether this tale is true or not, one thing is certain. Once Robert entered the Otto household, things would never be the same again. The strange bond between Gene and Robert. From the moment Gene laid eyes on Robert, he was obsessed. He took the doll everywhere, whispering to him, playing with him, even setting an extra place for him at the dinner table. At first, his parents found it endearing, a child's harmless attachment to a beloved toy. But soon, strange things began happening. Servants in the Otto household reported hearing Gene talking to Robert in hushed tones. But what was more chilling was the response. A deep, guttural voice answering back. Nothing like Gene's. At night, the family would hear small footsteps scurrying through the halls, followed by eerie giggles echoing from nowhere. Gene's parents dismissed these incidents as figments of a child's imagination. That is, until the accidents began. Rooms would be found in complete disarray, furniture overturned, glass shattered, objects thrown across the floor. Gene, trembling, would look up at his parents with wide, frightened eyes and whisper, "Robert did it." The dark presence in the Otto. Over time, the unsettling occurrences escalated. Guests staying at the Otto house reported waking in the middle of the night, only to see Robert sitting at the foot of their bed, watching them with his unblinking stare. Others claimed they saw his facial expression shift, a sinister smirk creeping across his painted lips. On more than one occasion, Gene's mother heard faint giggles coming from Robert's room. When she entered, she would find nothing but the doll, sitting motionless. Yet somehow, it felt as if he had just moved. Fearing what they could not understand, The Otto family finally took action. They locked Robert away in the attic, sealing him in a trunk, hoping to rid their home of the dark presence. But Robert would not be forgotten. Even in the attic, he made his presence known. Strange noises, scraping, scratching, and muffled laughter echoed from the locked room. Servants refused to enter, claiming they heard something whispering on the other side of the door. Gene grew up, moved away, and studied art in Chicago and Paris. But despite his success, something always pulled him back. And when his parents passed away, he returned to the house on Eaton Street and to Robert. Gene's obsession and Robert's revenge. Gene, now an adult and married, should have left his childhood toy behind. But instead, he retrieved Robert from the attic, dusted him off, and placed him in a chair in the turret room, where he had a perfect view of the street below. Neighbors soon noticed something disturbing. Robert, sitting in the window, seemed to move. Some swore they saw him change positions. Others saw his head turn. A few even claimed they heard faint tapping on the glass as they walked by. Gene's wife, Anne, despised Robert. She could feel his presence watching her, an unrelenting force that filled the house with unease. But Gene refused to part with him. As time went on, Gene's behavior became more erratic. He would spend hours alone in the turret room, speaking to Robert as if he were alive. His art became darker, more disturbed. Some say Gene lost his mind. Others believe Robert took control of him. When Gene finally passed away in 1904, Anne wasted no time. She locked Robert away once more, selling the house and leaving the cursed doll behind. Robert's new home, the Museum of Terror. Robert eventually found his way to the Fort East Martello Museum, where he resides to this day, sealed behind glass. But even now, he does not rest. Visitors who mock Robert, laugh at him, or take photos without asking for permission find themselves cursed. Letters flood the museum each year, desperate apologies from those who have suffered inexplicable tragedies, car crashes, financial ruin, illness, and even death, all blamed on the vengeful spirit of the doll. Museum employees refuse to be alone with him, claiming they feel an unnatural presence lingering near his case. Some report hearing footsteps at night when the museum is empty. Others see shadows shifting in the dim light. The warning, to this day, Robert the doll remains one of the most feared haunted objects in the world. His eyes, dark and lifeless, seem to follow anyone who dares look at him for too long. If you ever visit, remember these rules. 1. Be polite. 2. Always ask for permission before taking a photo. 3. Never disrespect Robert, because those who do soon learn the hard way that Robert is always watching, and he never forgets. And so, the legend of Robert the doll continues. A century has passed, yet his eerie presence still lingers. His story still whispered among those who have dared to stand before him. Letters of apology flood the museum, desperate pleas from those who mocked him, those who didn't ask permission, those who felt the wrath of something unseen. Is Robert truly cursed, or is it all just superstition? That is for you to decide. But one thing is certain, many have tested his power, and many have regretted it. If you ever find yourself in Key West, standing before the glass case where he resides, be respectful, speak softly, and whatever you do, don't take a picture without asking first, because some curses never fade. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this haunting tale, subscribe to HauntScape